Hello, welcome to another episode of Marketing Knowledge with Questus. Today we will look at the concept of storytelling and its use in business and marketing activities. From this video you will learn, among other things, why does storytelling help us build competitive advantage? What are the 4 basic elements of a story and what are their qualities? Where to look for the core of a brand story? Ready? So let's dive in. Today, it is increasingly difficult for organizations to compete at the level of the product itself because its physical attributes are generally easy for competitors to copy. Storytelling is therefore becoming an extremely important element in building competitive advantage. If an organization utilizes narratives, it competes at a higher level, the level of meaning and ideas. Since crafting narratives is a creative process, it's impossible to come up with a set of rigid rules that will guarantee the success of a story. However, we may distinguish a few basic components that should be included in every story. These include message, conflict, characters, and the plot. In the next few minutes, we will discuss each of them for you. The brand's message should arise from answering the questions: who is my audience and what message do I want to convey to them? It may be similar to the moral of a story, but should not be confused with an advertising slogan. For example, Nike's "Just Do It" is an advertising slogan. Its message, however, is the uncompromising strive for victory which results from determination and effort. Harley-Davidson's message is the desire for freedom, while Volvo's is safety. Conflict is the drive of every story which introduces tension and makes it dynamic. It doesn't always have to imply something negative. It's more about creating oppositions and contrast that define the brand and present its values. Dove's value is the true beauty, and its opposing idea are stereotypes portrayed in the media. For Lego, the conflict of values lies between creative and passive entertainment. However, you should remember that a great conflict that excites and engages the audience is born out of a well-identified consumer insight and well-outlined value proposition. Characters are another element without which the story would not exist. First of all, we must have both the protagonist and the antagonist. It is through the protagonist that the viewer becomes emotionally involved in the story. No less important than the main character is his opponent. It can take a personal form, but in business perspective, it is usually an opposing idea, a challenge from the macro or micro environment, competitors or industry norms, or in the case of internal marketing, for example, a bad organizational culture. The antagonist doesn't always have to be the classic villain. His main role is to act as a force that destroys harmony and creates conflict. The last of the basic elements of the story is the plot. To keep the audience engaged, it must develop in a proper way. From a business perspective, the storyline can be described as a strategic communication platform. It's worth noting that according to Aristotle's principles of rhetoric, a classic structure of a story consists in introduction, body, and conclusion. The introduction is the moment of first contact between the audience and the story. Therefore, a good introduction is extremely important. It grabs the audience's attention and sets the tone for the whole story. Then, an obstacle comes up and changes everything. This call to action drives the protagonist to embark on a journey. The body of the story is where the conflict escalates and the protagonist's adventures develop. These events lead to a climax, a point when the conflict reaches its critical tension. The hero then comes face to face with the obstacle and must make a choice. The ending and the restoration of the disrupted harmony will depend upon protagonist's actions. If we want to craft a good story for the brand, we need to find out where it wants to go and what is it calling for. Without a good cornerstone, a story won't be successful and won't engage the audience. In search of a good story for the brand, we should also take a look at the resources that we already have available at our fingertips. We may find stories among employees, founders of the company, CEOs, opinion leaders, business partners, customers, and products themselves. It may also be worth to take a look at the organization's history in search of company's milestones. Those key moments in the organization's history can be especially useful for young brands which are just beginning to form their values and identity. To sum it up, from today's video you've learned that storytelling allows us to compete at the level of meaning and ideas rather than just the product itself. This makes it extremely useful in the modern context of branding. The basic elements of a story are the message, together with moral, the conflict, the unfavorable business circumstances, the characters, especially the main protagonist and antagonist, and the plot, which provides a strategic platform for communication. The story's cornerstone can be found in many sources, both internal, such as employees or the company's founders, and external, such as opinion leaders or customers. And that's all for today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and share the video with your friends. See you in the next one. Take care.